Hi, I'm Paulina.
Hi, I'm Bricia.
And we're sisters, friends, daughters, wives, and business owners.
And we're just following our dreams, working to be a better version of ourselves every day. All right. And we're also moms.
Welcome to the Supermama Sisterhood.
Hello. We're back with our bonus Disney World episode because Walt Disney World cannot be summed up in one episode. We need two, obviously, in a week. It was this big of a deal for us. And I know that everyone is probably going like, oh my God, wasn't Bricia not that into Walt Disney World before? And who is she? I think I have evolved throughout these years as a super mama.
You know that thing they say, what's the thing that you said that you were never going to do and now you're doing?
I feel that's basically my entire super mama's trajectory. My entire super mama's host trajectory,
Yep. I want to see you next time we go. Being as hardcore as I am, staying until the close.
I don't know. You know what? I think that's where I just really enjoy my sleep and my rest. Never say never. I have free thing. You guys have so many receipts on me, where things I said, oh my God, why would anyone do that? And what kind of a mom does that? What kind of a person? Like, no, why would you do that? Cut to, I'm getting my, I want to do so many more Walt Disney. I'm telling you, I want to do an annual Walt Disney World trip.
Well, there's people that do it. Our friend Brittany, that she sent us a group message. She was like, I used to go every year as a child. I'm like, wow. Wow. Okay. What do your parents do for a living?
I think she said that her dad used to work for NASA and they are based out of Orlando, I
Cabo
think,
Cañaveral,
something like that. And I think that's why. But yeah, I'm definitely putting more Walt Disney World trips on my vision board.
For sure.
My son really wants to go with dad. So we're going to figure out a way to get daddy up there and experience Walt Disney World all over again.
We need to take Sixta when she's a little older.
Yeah.
We need to take her when she's older.
You totally would have taken Sixta if I had not pushed you not to.
She would have been on my back.
Tell the truth.
I mean, I do everything with my kids.
I know. You're hardcore. And I mean, maybe I'm going to be the same way like later. I'm just saying I think not taking your 2-year-old was probably
a good decision.
Yeah. Especially because you allow the other two to really experience it and enjoy it.
We really made it special for Sabina.
And I know that Ramiro was very, very upset and sad in the beginning. And then after it rained on us, he was like, well, actually, this is a great decision. Thank you.
I know. But okay, so if you were to do it all over again, what would you do different this time? Aside from planning.
Well, I think that's the major thing. I would 100%... I would 100% plan everything out. Yep. I would book everything out at the very least 75 days ahead, so I can have the 15 days to plan and do the fast passes exactly 60 days. Uh-huh. I think the fast passes that I would do on the day 60 would definitely, for Animal Kingdom, I would definitely do fast passes for Avatar,
the first ride, the rite of passage.
The rite of passage.
For sure.
I would 100% do fast pass for the Safari. And you know what? I mean, I would do the other Pandora ride too. Yeah. I would do the 2 Pandora rides and the Safari. Those are the 3 that I would definitely would get fast passes for. For Epcot, I would get a fast pass for Frozen.
Yes.
And honestly, I didn't really do any other rides at Epcot that I could see. But I would go online, I would research which ones, and there are the ones that the
big ball.
Yes, Flying to Space. I didn't even get to go into that one. But I would make dinner reservations at the Italian restaurant at Epcot, and I would definitely spend a whole day visiting all of the countries and maybe do a food crawl.
For sure.
Yeah, and maybe share one meal for each country with the group of people as opposed to stuffing my face off of one thing. I think that the best thing we did was when we ordered 4 orders of fish and chips. So each of us got 1 piece of fish and 5 fries. That didn't make us super full, but we got to taste it.
Yeah.
So I would do a food crawl, a day of just a food crawl at Epcot. The fast passes I would get at Hollywood Studios would be for Slinky Dog, for Toy Story Mania, and for which one's the other one from there?
Tower. I mean, I think
if you have if Tower of Terror, if you are that kind of adventure person,
yeah.
But actually, I think by then, if I'm going again, the new Mickey and Minnie ride would be open.
I know. I'm so
which
excited.
they're opening up in March. There's the first ever Mickey and Minnie ride to ever have been created, and we actually interviewed the Walt Disney World Ambassador, who told us all about it. And you guys are going to interview in a bit, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But you'll hear all about that ride in a bit. So I would definitely do it for those three. And then I have a tip for everybody who really wants to, who would want to do the Rise of the Resistance ride, because the Rise of the Resistance ride is very different than any other ride, the way you ride it, which is, I learned about it. And if you don't know how to ride it, and if you travel all the way to Orlando to ride this ride and you don't know the way it works, it can be tricky. So
I learned the word queue.
Yes. So there's this thing called boarding groups, and you have to get on a queue. So what happens is that you have to scan your ticket / magic band / whatever entrance. You have to scan yourself into the park, then go into the app and reserve your seat in the queue in your boarding group. So what happens is a lot of people, what they do is that they wake up super early. They get to the park they get to the park at 6:30 a.m. to scan in right at 7 when they open their app, put themselves in the queue, and then go back to their room and sleep until their queue is called. And when the queue is called, you have 2 hours to get to the ride.
And this is why it's important to download the actual app, because some people don't have it and they actually have physically go to the ride, up to the ride, and get in a queue personally there.
Yeah.
So don't do that. All you have to do is scan yourself in, open that app, and put yourself in a queue.
Yes. And then for Magic Kingdom, the 3 rides I would sign up 6 days in advance for the Fast Pass would be the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The Seven Dwarfs
roller
coaster.
Peter Pan.
Yes, Peter Pan, because you loved Peter Pan so much.
Peter Pan is so cute.
It's a super cute ride.
So cute.
Oh my gosh. And then for that one, I would say it would just be a personal preference of what people are into. I mean, I really like Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Just because it's full of comedy and it's kind of cute. But I think it just depends on, you can go to Pirates of the Caribbean or you can, go to so many classic rides.
I guess it depends on the age of your children.
Yes. And also depends, because Magic Kingdom is it's a classic. So you really want it. But I would say don't miss Mickey's Filler Magic. I would not do a fast pass for that one, just because the shows are constant and they get a lot of people in at the same time. So Mickey's Filler Magic, don't miss the Laugh Floor. Again, I don't think I would do a fast pass for those because it's so easy to get in those. But those are my 2 things. I think we talked about it on the last episode. But I think if I were to do it all over again, I would just go with my husband and my son. Knowing
you wouldn't go with all of us again?
I don't think I could do an entire 20 people experience. The thing about it's great when you go with family, because I think it's, and everyone vibes so well. But I think that when misses out on something, when you join the group, everyone else talks about it, and then the kids feel left out. Yeah. So I think that, if I get tired, I want to go back to the room. I don't want to have to leave the group and then come back to the group and everyone say, "Oh my God, we went here," and then my kids, the one saying, "Why did we have to go to the room, Mom?"
Yeah.
So I think if you go in a group, everyone has to do things together. I think that's the best thing. That's the best way of doing it. But if I was to do it again and just go with my family, with my husband and my son, I would definitely do full 5 days there, like full 5 days. And I think in between, I would do 2 days of hardcore being in the parks.
Yeah.
One day I would go to the spa with my husband and maybe have an activity for my son, because they have a lot of kids daycares there. and go to a nice dinner and, have a very chill day. They have, I got to visit the Riviera Hotel, and they have a beautiful water slide, and it seems like almost like a water park kind of, not really, but we stayed at the Grand Floridian, which is a beautiful hotel with so many great,
I love the waterfronts.
Yeah, with so many pools. But I would also go. What's so beautiful about everything is so interconnected. There's actually boat rides too. So I would go from a hotel to a hotel in a boat.
Yeah,
I would do a later, not a super early character breakfast, but I would do a character breakfast in a different hotel where I'm staying, so I can go on a boat.
Yeah,
and I would come back on a boat. I would just ride in boats the entire day, just super chill, and then do 2 days later.
Definitely.
And I think I would come back on an early flight. I wouldn't come back on a late flight. I would come back on a flight that would leave there's a 10 a.m. flight that leaves, and I would leave on that one. That way I can be back in LA. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. If you live in this side of the country, I would want to be back around 3 p.m. That way I can go home and go to sleep at a certain time and then be up. So that's kind of how I would do it.
Yeah.
If I were to do it all over again, and I would make dinner reservations at Be Your Guest and research more restaurants, and definitely have more dinner reservations, kind of knowing where we're going to do, and maybe squeeze in a character dinner and a character breakfast.
Yeah. I would just pinpoint all the places that I can get more coffee so I can do more things through the day.
Oh my God, so true.
I drank, I don't think I have drank that much coffee like in a year, what I drank over there. But, you need that energy. You do. So you do need to, have something to pick up your energy through the day, because you'll get tired, and then you just like, okay, let's do this again. Because the kids have no llenadera. It's just, they fall asleep on the stroller and that's it. But yeah, I think I would schedule a day for like quote unquote resting. But I mean, what that means is just like exploring other parts of the resort or of the world. What do you call the complex? Because they have so much things. Every hotel has different things. We stayed at Grand Floridian, which was amazing. We visited the Riviera, which has a totally different vibe. And every single resort has a different vibe. And I guess depending on when you go, but they also have different water parks. They have the Disney Springs that we talked about, and where they're gonna have that new show for not so bad, Edie.
They're gonna have a new Cirque du Soleil Disney show, which is their first full-on Disney integration / collaboration with Cirque du Soleil. Excited. We interviewed somebody from the Cirque du Soleil, Fabrice Becker, who has worked with Cirque du Soleil for over 20 years and who will tell us a lot more about this partnership and collaboration. Again, we don't want to ruin it for you guys because we have this interview right now, so in a little bit and you guys can hear it. But
that was like the cherry on top of the ice cream.
Yes, but I'm so excited to see that because I'm such a big Cirque du Soleil fan.
Me too.
And then just to see that magic of Cirque du Soleil and Disney together.
I'm excited.
I would definitely like that. That's kind of those things that you would do in the middle.
Yeah, because you're like, you need to have a day where you can leave, you feel comfortable leaving the parks and not feeling like, oh my God, I need to go back to the park to go and make it to this ride. Just take a day to just go and explore the other things that they have, because they have so much. When we were leaving Epcot to go to the airport, I remember we were talking to the driver and we're like, yeah, it's so big, And, we kept driving and we're like, oh, yeah, I can't believe that. He was like, oh, yeah, that's Disney Springs right there. I'm like, what? We've been driving all this time? He was like, oh, yeah, we're still in the property. It's so big. I was so amazed by how big that place is.
Yes.
So they have so much to explore over there. You will always find something to do.
I think full 7 days.
People do like 10 days when they go. And I was like, why? But now I get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
You'd be like, why do you need to be there for 10 days? But I think if yours is a once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 days with travel would make sense. I think I would do, if I had
your ideal,
my dream ideal, I think I would do 8 days with travel. So it's 2 days of travel basically because it's a whole full day. And now you have 6 full days there.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I think, and now you don't feel rushed.
And then maybe you don't need that extra day off. Because you don't.
Probably. In that way you were more chill, and then you can have an extra day, and you can have another day of fast pass experiences. So if you didn't get to do these, all of the rides on this day, you don't have to be rushed to make magic hours. You can just go on a regular day. So I think that's what I would do. Just keep it very chill and stress free, and not overdo it. If you're Paulina and you have 6 full days, you're going hardcore 6 days. You're not stopping.
7. You're going hardcore 7 days.
Yeah, 7, because you would go again on the travel day. I think for me, that's what I wouldn't have. I think I would just go back early, just because I want to be back home at a nice time,
a decent time,
and then get my clock back together, and then just enjoy the next day.
No, that's for sure.
Without dying.
Yeah, because I was dying the next day. And I still had to see my baby. And I was like, oh, my God, I missed you so much.
But you would totally go hardcore all days, huh, if you were there?
I would.
Yeah.
I would definitely. And, the thing is, like, what I know
Who
is
knows?
that...
So maybe next time I go, I'm so hardcore all the time, too. Because I'm telling you, I have basically done everything I said I wasn't going to do.
You're a comfort. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing also is that my husband's down for it. My kids are down for it. So it's like, oh, do you want to go? Yeah, let's go. Like, they're not like, oh, no. They're just like, let's do it, Mom. Let's go. Come on, let's go. So sometimes they're dragging me. So, that's why we do it.
Yeah, we're the opposite. My husband would be like, why? Let's rest. I'd be like, yeah. And my kid would be like, yeah, Mommy, let's just sleep. Just chill. I'm like, yeah.
You're right. Let's just go to sleep. No.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have 2 incredible interviews as promised. We have an interview with Steven Lim. Such a cute guy.
So cute.
So great. He's got the world's best job. He's a Walt Disney World Ambassador.
I want his job.
He's been in Disney for 4 years, and as an ambassador, he represents more than 74,000 Walt Disney World cast members to the media, both locally and nationally. And as an official host for the Walt Disney World Resorts, he also participates in hundreds of cast member events.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, they're called cast members, and I love that. And we have Fabrice Becker, Director of Creation of Drawn to Life by Cirque du Soleil, the new Cirque du Soleil show that's created and collaborated with, and just the first official partnership with Cirque du Soleil and Disney World. Fabrice began training in gymnastics at a young age before turning to freestyle skiing. In 1992, he became the Olympic champion in that discipline, taking the gold medal at the Alderville Winter Olympics. He was also world champion in the same discipline in 1993 and 97, and won several Crystal Globes on the World Cup Tour. He started at Cirque du Soleil in March 2000 as an acrobatic talent scout in the casting department, and a few later he became the casting director for all Cirque du Soleil's new creations, and also the creative think tank called Creators and Trends. He is now the director of creation for Drawn to Life, Cirque's upcoming show in collaboration with Walt Disney Imagineering. We cannot wait to check out this show. Can't wait for all of you guys to go to Walt Disney World. And don't forget, we are beginning your Walt Disney World Fund. Ladies, the Super Romas Walt Disney World Fund will go to one lucky winner. You can learn more about our giveaway at superromas.com/WDW. For those of you who are smart, will recognize that that's short for Walt Disney World.
And if you didn't know it, now you know.
Now you know it. But we are starting your Super Romas Walt Disney World Fund. Without further ado, here is our interview with Fabrice Becker and Steven Lim. Welcome, Steven.
Thank you.
Hi, Steven. So please tell us your title.
So I'm the Walt Disney World Ambassador for 2019 and 2020.
How do I get your job?
What does that mean?
Yeah, so I act as the official representative for the Walt Disney World Resort and all 4 parks, all 2 water parks, 30 plus resorts, and act as the official representative of all 77,000 cast members who work here.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's talk about the fast pass situation, because I want to make sure my girls know exactly what to do.
Sure.
Because I feel that's a game changer. Like you need to plan. So how does the Fast Pass Plus work?
Yeah, well, Fast Pass Plus is fantastic because you can reserve those in advance. And if you're staying at one of our Disney resorts, you can do that 60 days in advance, and just to get the best attractions, the ones that you want to be
per day.
Yeah. So you get 3 per day for every day that you have a ticket for our theme parks. And once you book those 3, you're free to use those during the actual day that you're at that theme park. Once you've used all 3 of those fast passes, you can go back into the app and you can look for what else is available. And you can get one at a time after that. So you use one, then you get another one, etc. until the end of the year. Very busy, tiring day.
But wonderful and magical.
Exactly.
So we got a sneak peak of the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I heard.
That's coming up in March 2020.
March 4th, yeah.
In the Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
Correct?
Exactly.
Tell us about the new technology, the immersive experience, the sound.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first ride to ever feature Mickey and Minnie Mouse, which ever.
Right, they've been around for a little bit of time.
You guys are turning 100 years next year?
Pretty
2
soon.
years?
We just celebrated 90 a couple years ago. And so, but yeah, we thought it was a little long overdue that they deserve their own
They
ride
deserve
through
their own
attraction,
thing,
right?
yes.
But we're really proud of this brand new attraction. And I know you got to see a little taste.
Yes.
I'm not going to spoil too much because it's opening in just a couple of months on March 4th at Disney's Hollywood Studios. But it is truly an incredible attraction for the entire family.
Yes.
And it immerses you into the world of these cartoons. It's based off of, there's a lot of, Mickey and Minnie have taken different forms over the years, but this one is based off of kind of our newer cartoons that you might see on like Disney Plus or Disney Channel. And we like that theme because it's a little zany, it's a little unpredictable. And so when you're entering the Chinese theater, you're there to watch a cartoon short that stars Mickey and Minnie and they're going on a picnic. What could go wrong? But not everything goes right. And so all of a sudden, you step into the cartoon world and you board a train and Goofy is the conductor. And again, when Goofy's the conductor, you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's lots of really cool special effects throughout the entire experience. There's a brand new song.
Yeah.
Did you hear the
So
song?
catchy.
It's
catchy.
still in your head probably.
I've been whistling it lately.
Exactly. But yeah, lots that our guests are going to see in that.
I really love the technology aspect of the new rides here at Walt Disney World. I am very impressed. And I think as a Disney lover fan, you always want to be part of that world, right? You're like, I wish I was part of that cartoon. I wish I was. And I think a lot of the new rides that we got to experience during our trip are that now you are part of the world.
Yeah.
Like I feel like before you were able to experience it, but now you're like a part of it. And I think you guys are just taking it to the next level. And that was one of the things that really caught my attention from this ride, because you just get startled by this animation slash reality, real life, and you're kind of confused but amazed at the same time. And I just really, I want to point that out to our listeners. Like, if you want to see new technology, this is it.
Yeah,
Disney has it.
It takes storytelling to another level.
A whole other level.
Because, it's one thing to, go to the movie theaters and watch a really great movie and feel those emotions. But it's another thing to be a character in those and then step into those scenes. And our Imagineers are so good at creating these immersive experiences with all of your, senses, your sights and sounds and even smells sometimes. And that's what we want with all of our theme park experiences, is that seamless, immersive experience where you don't feel like you're at a theme park. Mm-hmm. You feel like you're on another planet, or you're in Andy's backyard, or you're in, for this example, in the cartoon world with Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, I really love that. And I think one of the other things that really caught my attention from this ride was the fact that every sound in that ride, it's handmade. They explained to us a little bit about that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, the fantastic experiences at Disney's Hollywood Studios were all about movie making. Mm-hmm. And we're all about immersing our guests into those movies. And we thought, well, how can we make this such a unique experience for our guests, but also pay tribute to the great art of sound effects.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sound effects are such an important part of movies that when we were building this attraction, our Imagineers thought, well, what if we took that kind of style of sound effects and used it for this attraction. So that's what we did. And we were able to use, whistles and other different sounds that we have been archived in our long history as a company and put those into the attraction for that fully immersive experience.
When the designer explained that to us, I didn't really fully understand it until I actually experienced it. Because it's one thing to hear it and you're like, okay, so what's the big deal about using a real flute? But when you are actually there and the juxtaposition of really listening to very original sounds with this new animation of Minnie and Mickey, because they're the new face of Minnie and Mickey per se, because they're retro yet modern at the same time, it really puts you in a different era of Disney, and you can feel that you're entering a new era of what Disney is going to be, and it is right now, and really marrying technology and creativity together and art at the same time. It's such a beautiful thing to witness.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the big reasons why this attraction specifically appeals to the entire family, like all ages, because adults can appreciate that kind of detail to the sounds and the projection technologies and the special effects where there's definitely several moments. I think you got to experience one where you're like, how did they do that?
How did they do that?
How did they do that? How did we get here?
Yes.
And so adults will really love that. And then the kids will love just the immersion and seeing their favorite characters and spotting Pluto around the attraction and Goofy as the conductor. And like I said, appeals to all audiences in that way.
So when is it opening? Are there fast passes available for that when it opens? How is it going to be like Galaxy Star Wedge, like the new
Edge
Star Wars ride where you can only do the reservation, or when you walk in, what is it going to be like?
Yeah, so the attraction itself, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, opens at Disney's Hollywood Studios on March 4th. So we're just a couple months out, and so we still haven't finalized exactly how we're gonna be opening it to the public in terms of, are there going to be fast passes available? We're always kind of evaluating our guests and how they experience our parks, how they like to experience our parks. So I'd say Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is a really great example because we have one attraction, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, that currently only has a standby queue,
right?
But is built for Fast Pass Plus as well, like has a queue. If in the future that is something that our guests are looking forward to, we can implement that at any time. And so we're always looking at what is the most important thing right now. And so for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, same thing, is we're going to open based on a lot of probably the data we collect from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and figure out what's the best way that our guests are going to experience it. But we know it's going to be a very popular attraction with everyone.
Like the Star Wars.
I will say that I mean, and you hear people who are fans, right? And people are hardcore, but you get to see it firsthand. And when we were lucky enough to get into the park before it opened and experienced the ride. But we noticed that the park opened at 7 a.m. and people were in pajamas at 6 a.m. outside, because when you scan in, you're able to book your queue. So one trick I found was that people get in their pajamas, would scan in, would reserve their queue, and then go back to their room and sleep.
And we've found that that's been happening for the past few weeks. And we have created a virtual queue with boarding groups for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. And there's a lot of really good reasons for that. As one being, you don't have to actually physically stand in the line.
That would be a very long
hours. And so if you're able to wake up to that early alarm and get to Disney's Hollywood Studios
you
early,
will be able to ride it without having to wait in line.
Yeah. And what's great about the boarding groups is it's attached to your My Disney Experience account, and we send you a push notification when it's your turn, when we call your boarding group, and you still have 2 hours from that point to come back to the attraction. So even if you're not in the park, hopefully you're within a 2-hour radius that you can get back and to that attraction. And so it gives our guests that flexibility, because we know that standing in a very, very long line may not be the ideal guest experience.
I actually I couldn't even imagine how long that line would be if you guys had a line.
Right.
I mean,
we couldn't either.
Even to ride Avatar Flight of Passage, which has been open for several years now.
Almost 3 years
Yep.
now.
And that was the one thing I really wanted to do. I've been just counting on the days for me to go visit Pandora, which did not. I mean, met overexceeded.
It's really
It was
incredible over
amazing.
there.
That line was 4.5 hours.
Yep. It's been consistently like that. And I think that that proves just the quality
Oh,
of
yes.
attractions that
Oh,
we
definitely.
are starting. And we
yeah.
always have had a reputation for quality, but as we see with these attractions that are so popular year after year, it's not just something that people experience once and then they're like, I'm good.
No.
It's things
no,
that people
no.
want to experience over and over because they missed maybe a detail here, or they just loved it so much and they want to bring their friends back too. It's this repeat over and over that we're seeing quite a bit with our newest attractions.
I actually, just thinking back of like all the rides, I just get goosebumps. Like, thinking about, I've been waiting so long to see this, and when I did, I was like a child. Like my jaw dropped and everything, because like you were saying, the smells, the things, it's so crazy because you grew up with Disneyland, you grew up with Disney World, and every time you go and you experience it differently, and now experience it through the eyes of our children is a totally different experience.
It's different, but it's still. It's very emotional. I've
so
seen people
emotional.
come off of attractions like Avatar Flight of Passage or Star Wars Rise of the Resistance almost in tears because of what not only those franchises mean. We have very passionate Star Wars fans, and being able to live those stories, it's an emotional process. But even if you're not as a super fan of those, you can still appreciate being transported, and for 10 minutes. You are in another world. You are in a different reality, and nothing else in the world matters. And that is the foundation of why Walt built the original Disneyland, is for a place where people could escape and be transported to a place where you couldn't even see the outside world. And I think we're still doing that. We're still figuring that out.
Another highlight, which is something so, I wouldn't even say simple, but maybe sounds simple. It's just the Disney's Mickey's Filler Magic.
Yeah.
What's it called? Show?
It's a 3D show over at Magic Kingdom.
But I've been to 3D shows before, and you kind of walk in thinking, okay, I'm going to put my glasses on. I get it. This was magical. I mean, I really got teary-eyed in the middle of it, and I wanted to see it over and over and over again. It was so beautiful. And that's new technology too, because it is 3D, but it's different.
Yeah, there's a lot of classic characters in that attraction as well, and so each person goes in. If you have a favorite movie, a Disney movie, and you see The Lion King up there, you see Beauty and the Beast, and you have this emotional connection for years and years.
The carpet ride was my
it's so great. It's so fantastic, and we're just constantly learning new ways to get our guests connected to those experiences.
The laugh floor.
Oh, it's so fun. That one changes every time because there's different jokes.
Exactly.
Can you give us a sneak peek of what other rides are coming this year?
Yeah,
aside
absolutely.
from Mickey and Minnie's Runway.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is one of the next attractions coming on March 4th. But also this year we have Ratatouille. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is coming to Epcot this summer, and it's based off of an attraction that we currently have at our Disneyland Paris resort. Because that makes sense over there, but it also makes sense in our France pavilion over at Epcot. And so our Imagineers are really hard at work for that attraction, which will be just a few months after Mickey and Minnie. So we have a very exciting year this year.
And will it be similar, or new technology, same?
Similar technologies, but also different, because you're immersed in a different story. You've shrunk down to the size of a rat, and you're exploring the kitchen just like you were in that movie. And it's going to be amazing. The guests over at Disneyland Paris love it, and we know that our guests here are going to also.
I cannot wait.
Thank you so much for being here, Steven.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And I might steal your job someday.
Yeah, I'm going to. Sure. Absolutely. It's open.
Thank you. The Super Mamas want to help with your next trip to the most magical place on Earth, where you can be transported into stunning worlds, far-off galaxies, and exciting new stories. From the all-new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway attraction that opens on March 4th, to epic adventures at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, to plenty of Epcot Festival fun. More to see and to do in all 4 Walt Disney World theme parks. And what better way to experience it than with $500 in Disney gift cards? Yes, we want to give one lucky winner $500 in Disney gift cards to start your Walt Disney World Fund. To enter, use your Instagram account now through February 5th to upload a video or picture of your favorite Disney resort moment. This can be a throwback from a time you went with your entire family or even your most recent trip to the park. Be sure to tag Supermamas and go to supermamas.com/WDW for official contest rules and to learn more. No purchase necessary. A purchase or payment of any kind will not increase your chances of winning. The Disney gift card can be used at select participating locations at Walt Disney World Resort, Disneyland Resort, Disney Cruise Line, Disney Store locations in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico, shopdisney.com, Disney Photo Pass, Adventures by Disney, Aulani, at Disney Resort and Spa, and Disney's Beach Resort. It cannot be used towards the purchase of a Disney Vacation Club membership. Visit DisneyGiftCard.com for complete terms and conditions. Potential winner will be notified via Instagram or email on or around February 6, 2020. Additional restrictions may apply.
Hi, Fabrice.
Hello.
So great to meet you. Thanks for
having me.
thanks for taking the time to talk with us about this beautiful new. I don't even want to call it show, maybe experience that you guys are preparing. Would love to know a little bit about your background.
Wow.
I know you have achieved much in your life, but maybe a little bit about who you are and, what's your favorite thing to do on the weekends?
Wow, it's getting personal.
I mean, I'm just saying, just because I don't even know. I mean, we will definitely do a big intro for you, but I mean, what does a gold medalist like to do in his spare time? I don't know. Never met one of you before.
All right, let's start. So I'm
Long walks on the beach while doing like backflips. I don't know.
Oh, why not? Thanks for having me, first of all. So I'm the director of creation of that new show called Drawn to Life that will open in Disney Spring at the end of March. In my previous life, before working at Cirque du Soleil, I've been working with Cirque for the last 20 years. So
Wow.
I feel it's already an entire lifetime.
Oh, for sure.
And before that, I was coming from a sport background. Did gymnastics when I was young, and then freestyle skiing, where I won a gold medal at the '92 Olympics in France.
Just something light. Yeah.
So that's and here I am with you guys, girls.
You've peaked. What's after us?
Yes,
Come on.
and you're
This
my
is the
last
highlight.
interview of the day. It's my highlight.
See, it is this highlight of your career. What do you mean your
Absolutely.
day?
Yeah.
So we heard what it's going to be about, and we have kids who come home with new pieces of art every single day, right? They go to school. I mean, my son is 4, and at the end of the year, I have a stack that's this
Yes,
big.
I know what you mean.
And things, and I just I don't even know what to do with it. But hearing the story behind what it's going to be about, it gave me a whole perspective on their art. Can we talk a little bit more about the story behind the show and what inspired it, and what can we expect?
First of all, I'm very happy that it resonates the way you described it, because that's our goal, is to create that emotional connection and in a very universal storyline that, kids and parents can relate to. I have a 10-year-old, and I'm also, keeping all his significant drawing and trying to make sense here. And our story is a story of a young girl named Julie. She's 12-year-old, and her father was a Disney animator, and he always used his craft, his ability to draw a Disney character to raise that little girl. Whenever she was sad, she would draw a specific character. When she would open her lunchbox, here it is, another Disney character. So almost like brother and sister, Disney character, grew up with that little girl. And when he passed away, he decided to, before leaving, to leave an unfinished animation project for her to finish. And the show starts, and she discovers that special letter and that special project. And our show is literally that adventure in the world of animation. And Julie will discover the mystery of what animation is, but also will discover herself and project herself in the rest of her upcoming years. So it's very aspirational. I think it's strong and will relate to each one of us, because we all had that special connection with one Disney character, one specific movie, and everything. So we just do it through the lens of Cirque du Soleil in our own way. And I think it will gather not only Cirque fan, but also very much Disney fan. So it's quite special.
I mean, you talk about two powerful brands that can really marry art, creativity, and I mean technology too. But I just feel that when you talk about Cirque, you talk about almost like transmitting technology through your body in a way that you've never seen it. I mean, I've seen so many Cirque shows, and to see that, and to even just I know in my mind I cannot imagine what it would look like now marrying Disney. How was that creative process between Disney and Cirque? Who did you work with, and how did you guys come with the storyline and animation, technology, whatever the human body can do that I didn't even know is possible when I watch you guys?
I think you're completely right. I think we're using a lot of technology in that show, but we try to not to see it. I think for us, everything that matters is the emotion that you create on stage. How you do it, it doesn't matter. For the audience, is that special moment of connection with either a character or a performer or performance or a song. Music is very important. And to come back on your question about the collaboration, it has been an incredible adventure on the creative perspective, because we got to sit down with people from animation studio, from Disney Research Library. We went to Disney Museum. We went to the parks. We went to, they hosted us completely in an incredible fashion, and really it inspired us. And the development of the project has been done in a very respectful way. We are Cirque du Soleil. We're not Disney. We're not pretending to do the same thing and the way Disney is doing it. So we have our strengths and trying to apply our strengths to a medium that is the art of animation, and trying to combine both worlds. And I have to say, sitting down on some of the working tables that we had with some of the iconic animators of Disney or film director has been an incredible chance for us. When you look at movies and suddenly that you're working, you're in front of Eric Goldberg that drew the genie of Aladdin, which was one of my favorite movie.
Wow.
And it's incredible, and that legacy will be part of the show, because it's important to know that you'll have some of your beloved character that will come back in a very unique way, never seen before, but in our format, on our stage, in a more evocative way. So it's incredible, and we'll have even some new animation sequences that were developed exclusively for the show.
I can imagine. I think that's a lot of two of my favorite things, Cirque du Soleil and Disney. And I cannot wait to see what it's going to be like. I recently took my oldest daughter, to a Cirque du Soleil show, and she was so impressed of how you guys move and dance and everything. So when I'm hoping to come back to show her these two, I think her mind is just going to explode with like all this music and things. And I cannot wait to see it. And now she's going to she's going to expect me to keep all her drawings. I don't know what I'm going to do.
You should. But it's a very humbling experience, as you say, because we feel the interest people are. You just express, how excited you are, and that's how we feel as working on the show, and we feel also the excitement around. Everybody will, especially here in Orlando, and since we talk to people know about the show, know about Drawn to Life coming to Disney Springs, and they're generally very very excited. And this comes also with a lot of responsibility in terms of delivering what people are expected. They're expecting, new heights, and we're trying to create that.
It's Disney.
Yes.
I mean, and just on the different, kind of not shifting gears or anything, just because I always wanted to meet someone from Cirque. And now, is this the first collaboration that Cirque has with Disney ever?
We collaborated on our previous show, La Nuba, that was in Disney Spring and went, successfully for 19 years and closed in 2017.
Wow!
But the collaboration wasn't done on in terms of bringing or mixing characters. It was a Cirque du Soleil show that could have been anywhere in the world.
Got it.
But here it's a real first of combining, our two worlds, and
wow,
it's very exciting.
When you, as a dad, as a parent, when you are an athlete, an artist, and what is your son into, or is your daughter's son? You said son, right?
It's a son. He's 10 years old.
What is he into? I'm just curious.
He's a Star Wars fan, and he's actually coming to Orlando next Friday, and we're planning to go to Hollywood Studio this coming Monday to do the new rides.
Nice.
And can't
do
wait
you
to
have
see
a regular
that.
schedule with him? Like, is he athletic? Is he into what you're into? I mean, I'm just wondering what it's like to have a parent that is a Cirque, like.
No, it's an interesting.
I've always wanted to meet a gold medalist and ask him
It's
these
an
questions.
interesting question, because I'm sure you realize, okay, am I pushing him towards sports and everything? And the answer is no. Every individual is different, and my son hasn't so far been very involved in any sports. I think he's trying several, and the only thing that he stick to is cooking classes.
Oh, I love that. Or you're French. That makes sense.
So I don't know. You can't predict, and you just have to support and whatever who that person is.
We come from a food family, and everyone asks us the same question all the time. Are your kids going to be in the restaurant business?
Of course.
Are your kids chefs? Are your kids going to be that? And I love that you gave that answer, because the kids are their own. And I think that sometimes we forget that they're their own people.
Yes,
absolutely.
And we forget what it's like to be a child. And I think that when you put yourself in a show like this one, you're going to remember what it is to be a 10-year-old brain and relate to your kids in a different way.
And adults will also remember that, and kids will do it in their own way. That's why we say it's a family-friendly show. It's not a kid-oriented; it's a family, because we all had that connection to Disney heritage.
Yeah. I know you were talking about your favorite character. What's your favorite Disney character?
Someone asked me that question like 5 minutes ago, and when I started the project, for me, Disney Pixar, I put them together, and I answered Wall-E, because
you're such a kind soul.
You are.
And one of the reasons is that it's such a bold statement to start a movie without any words for the first 25. The emotion has to translate in a different way. I think it's connected to me as a person, but also to me as working in Cirque du Soleil, in shows where you use non-verbal means to express things.
Yes.
So this is my answer.
Oh, it's so great to meet you.
So great to meet you.
Wow, what a great way to end our day of interviews. You were incredible. I mean, you walked in and it was just like the aura changed in the room. So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Hey sisters, thank you so much for listening. Hope all of you guys are subscribed to our newsletter. If you're not, make sure you hit that subscribe button on supermamas.com. We will be sending out invites to upcoming events, promos, and super cool surprises your way. And of course, you can always keep up with us through the gram at _supermamas, and on Twitter, also at _supermamas, and in el Face at Supermamas Podcast.
Oh, one more thing. We want to hear your Super Mama moment of the week to share with all of you sisters. Calling to our hotline, 424-329-3707, and leave us a message, or simply email us a voice note to hello@supermamas.com. Very soon, we could be featuring you on the show. Please remember to leave your name and Instagram handle for a chance to be featured.
Much love, and see you next week, Super Mamas!